Good afternoon.
How are you?
Uh, Studying film.
There we go. There we go. Well, your team coming off a 27-20 win over Elizabeth City State. Thrilling win. They come back from 2010 at the half. Just give me your impressions on the game.
Again, you definitely credit them for the way that they played and was ready to play, and so hats off to them. And then for our team, to go in at halftime down, and then we had a delay and kind of had to wait around for a little while, but just challenging those guys that we talked about it all summer, doing hard things together, and to see them compete the way that they did and fought, and to be able to pull out the win. Again, you'll take them. We talk about winning is not easy. It's a lot of things can happen, but we stuck together and came out with a win, and to be 1-0 on Saturday is what your goal is, and we were able to accomplish that and get that done.
Let's start with your defense. Obviously, the first half didn't go the way you would have preferred, giving up 20 in the first half, but your guys pitched a shutout in the second half. What was the biggest change over the last 30 minutes?
Guys just being assignment sound. When you go back and you have time at halftime to look at some stuff, and you just realize you're not gapped out right. You're not blitzing when you're supposed to blitz. You're not lined up the right way, and it's those things that cost you in the first half. And so you fix those things up. Again, we had 10 penalties. I know six of them were on the defense, and five of them came in the first half, so they only had one penalty in the second half. So again, when you clean those things up, you can play better football.
The one penalty came on what was a crazy ending to that game. You had the pass interference penalty and then kind of the Hail Mary. But credit to your guys making the tackle at the goal line. Just relive that last play for me and what you saw from your vantage point.
That was the longest 9 seconds that we've been a part of. Again, you just see the ball go up, and you're like, oh my goodness. And then the thing is, you had three guys that didn't quit on the play, and so you're excited about that. But again, just another learning opportunity for us to watch what our guys and talk about and go over, so that we're better prepared again for situations like that.
Offensively, certainly a big night for Jaquan Snipes. 18 carries, 174 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. None bigger than the game winner, 47-yarder. Just talk about the night that he had for you.
Again, yesterday in our meeting, we gave credit to the O line and the wide receivers. If you watch film, the O line did a great job of knocking guys off the ball and giving him chances. I think there was maybe about 4 or 5 of his runs where he wasn't even getting touched until the second level. And so that's credit to our O line, and then our wide receivers did a great job of blocking downfield. And when you have those two combinations going, a guy like Snipes and our whole running game, just we can have success when those two phases are blocking the way that they were on Saturday.
Yeah, I was going to say, not only, I mean, he obviously was the headliner for Chikache, 13 carries for 91, also scored a touchdown. How do those two guys complement each other?
Great. I mean, it kind of reminds me of when we first got here with when Elijah Burris and those guys were young, and you had Butts, and it's kind of that same thing. You got a great 1-2 punch. Both guys are physical runners. Both of them, have great vision, and so when you get those guys going, and then Shep is another speedy guy for us. So we feel good. We've got some three good backs that, we feel excited about.
You use both your quarterbacks again for the second straight week. Is that something that you can see yourself going forward, or what did you see from those two guys? At that position, and
Yeah,
where do you go from here?
Yeah, we got this week, and we'll kind of see. And again, I say the same thing. It's just it's on them. How they perform this week in practice, and eventually, I hope, and I'm sure they do too, that one kind of just takes the whole thing over. So we'll always have a great competition during the week, and then kind of see where it's at on Friday.
Conference play starts Saturday. Your team heads to North Carolina A&T as you've started to prepare for them, and maybe watching that film that I pulled you away from. What are some of the challenges that they present?
Coach has done a great job over there, and I mean he's gonna have them playing. Watching them on offense, they've played three quarterbacks, but 7 and 17. You watch them; both of them have the ability to run. They can both throw it, and so you definitely got to be prepared for both of those guys to play and see which one is out there. I think they both do a good job of running with the ball as well as throwing it. And I think they have a three-headed monster at the running back position. With the 35 and 9 and 24, they got three good backs that they want to get the ball to, and I know 35 didn't play against us last year. He was banged up and hurt. So, and again, listening to coach and just knowing him, he wants to run the football, and he's got three guys back there that he can turn it to, and then you got them quarterbacks that can run as well. Defensively, the two guys that jump out 90, their D tackle and number one, their DN, they jump off the film. Those two guys are guys that you got to be prepared for because they play physical. They're disruptive in the backfield, and so those two guys, you better know where they're at, and you better get them blocked because they can play. And then special teams, solid in the special teams game. They give you different looks on punts, they give you different looks on kickoffs, returns, and so we have to be locked in and prepared in all three phases this Saturday.
What makes the North Carolina A&T and Hampton have played each other a number of times, had a number of great games. What makes the rivalry so good? Coach Gibbs was telling me this morning that this is the third different conference that he's played this game in. But what makes the rivalry so good, and what will be, I'm sure, a tremendous atmosphere on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, just two historic programs, a lot of rich in tradition. We recruit down in the North Carolina area, so we've got players. We probably have 9 or 10 players, maybe 12 players from North Carolina that's on the team. And so, they know a lot of those guys. So when you're playing those A&T, you've got a lot of guys that's played against each other in high school because, like I said, we probably have 10 or 12 guys from North Carolina on the team. And then, just two good programs that play good ball, that's had success, in all three conferences and just doing good things in the conferences. So it's exciting atmosphere, no matter, if they come here or we're down there, that just the atmosphere is always great and there's a great rivalry with it. And so it's fun to play in.
All right, Coach. Thanks so much for your time here this afternoon. Safe travels